Good evening and welcome to tonight's Paranormal Plus podcast. I am your host, Kevin, aka the Casper Hunter, and I'm here with my co-host,
Sylvia Grand Slam.
Sylvia Grand Slam. And Sylvia identifies as a vampire.
It's a breakfast combination.
Breakfast combination.
What is that place? I forgot. IHOP? I think it's IHOP.
Yes.
Yeah. We also have a little, this side?
Yeah, we got a little mascot in the background.
Yeah, we got our mascot. He's joining us this time.
That is the Japanese word, Yuri. He's not actually there because Yuri or Yurei in Japanese, I don't know how to say it. Almost said a bad word. Don't know how to say it, but it means ghost. So we have a ghost on the set. Y'all don't really see him there. We don't see him there. He'll appear in the podcast though.
Okay.
All right. So double tolls and trouble.
I'm getting excited.
You like that?
Excited. We're gonna do witches. We're gonna do actual witches.
Yes, witches.
Not like. We got to give them credit, but there was recently all 20 of them that was executed at Salem was said that it wasn't actual witches and they shouldn't have been executed. I don't remember the word for it. What's the word for that? You don't know?
I don't know. I mean, I can't read your mind. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like
excuname?
Yeah, something like that. I can't think of the word either.
Now you got me. I'm tongue-tied again. All right, so
we got actual witches.
We got actual witches. And excommunicated.
That's what
There's what you was talking about. Not all of them. There was some of them that was executed.
Yeah.
But according to popular belief, everybody thinks, oh, they burned them at the stake, but that's a myth. They were actually hung. They were executed. And in fact, some of the judges that was doing this thought that it was so much, bull malarkey, that the masses that they rounded up, called witches, they would throw the cases out.
So these are now. I know that they did burn them at the stake in other countries.
I think Ireland was the first known witch to be burned, and we will talk about her. Hold on, let me think. We will talk about her a little bit tonight, but our first witch is going to be Catherine Mauvoisin.
Okay.
Mauvoisin, and she was in France in the 1600s. She was known for making potions and medicines. And even poisons. The significance of the poisons at the time was that the king of France was known for having a lot of women. I mean, if he fancied a woman, he would take her to his bed, and these women would fight to the death for the right to be one of the women that he bedded.
Wow.
And
it's good to be a king, I've heard.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, so in this, they would go to her and some of these other women. I can't remember exactly how many they actually rounded up during that time, and I don't even think that history actually knows. But they would go to her. And she would make poisons for them so they could poison the other women. And
so they're getting rid of the competition.
Getting rid of the competition, heck yeah. So there was such fear arose in France that they were going to be poisoned, and that's why the courts and the crown decided to round up these women that identified. Your medicine women, your herbalist, your soothsayers and everything. She would actually tell fortunes So she was kind of clairvoyant. She was kind of a medium type clairvoyant, and she would tell these stories to the people about what was taking place in their life and what they could expect. Well, when the fear came on everybody that they about all this poisoning that was going on, so she was rounded up, and she was actually the first person to ever be the first witch to ever be executed by being burned at the stake. And they
ever.
The story is that, well, to the best of my research.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
We have several historians that work with us, and they come up with some of the information for us. She was said that when the priest walked up to her to give her last rites, as they were walking her to the step where, I don't know, the pole wasn't a stake, the pole where they tied her up, the burner, that she pushed the priest away, and she when she was tied up there, she went to kick in the hay that they had around her feet.
She's
bucking.
She's
bucking. Yeah. She wasn't going lightly in this good night.
She's bucking.
So so she was also, one of the things that she done was black masses, and she helped people communicate with the devil. So she probably needed a little burning.
She's
burning a lot now.
All right, so I want to clear up something. In my experience with these clairvoyants or these tarot card readers or these palm readers, or what was it say, fortune tellers?
Fortune tellers.
They look in the crystal ball. So they got to have all these things. They got to have the crystal ball and the tarot cards to try to get the same result as someone with a God-given talent would have. Someone with a God-given talent, they're going to not charge you money. They're not trying to make a profit off of
God.
You, of a God. Right.
Something God.
So that's how you know the difference there. Now, I'm not saying everybody out there that tries and dabbles and tries to do the cards and stuff are bad people or satanic worshipers or anything like that. But I'm just saying that there's a difference. And that's true. Anybody with God-given talent of mediumship or clairvoyancy would also agree with that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you kind of cleared that up for the audience. I'm pretty sure there's people out there had questions regarding this, and some people go to these fortune tellers and stuff. It's a form of entertainment, but then again, you have people go to fortune tellers and stuff, and it's all about they have to know something, and they want to know, and sometimes I can make some guesstations about what's going to take place in your life, and based on some information that you provide to me, and I'm able to read that and figure some stuff out.
Right. A lot of it's trickery.
I mean, we could call Dr. Phil a fortune teller.
Well, we don't need no plumbing done. We'll be all right. We don't have to call Dr. Phil.
Plumbing.
He's a plumber.
Dr.
Phil was a freaking plumber. That was his profession prior to coming on doing that show. He was a plumber.
I didn't know that. Is that something that's
Imagine Dr. Phil coming to your house to fix your sink, right? Or whatever. He's fix your toilet, and he's in here talking to you, well, your children need to start behaving. And like, what? Who hired this damn plumber?
Hey, the price is about the same.
Right, yeah.
Per hour. You call a plumber, you get Dr. Phil. Hey, it's 2 for 1.
I don't think if he's a doctor, he become a doctor after the fact.
Okay, so we, in regards to Miss Moyson, she was burned publicly, and
that's a hell of a way to go there.
Like I said, that she went kicking and screaming. She would. every time they would try to light the hay around her feet, she would kick it away.
I would be too.
So,
I'd be spitting and pissing and everything, trying to put the
But
fire
yeah, you know, back to what we were saying. I mean, this is a person that was helping people communicate with the devil, and so I can't even feel sorry for a person, you know, in that situation. I can't feel sorry for saying, "Oh my God, you know, this is a horrible way to die." Yeah, well,
it is a horrible way to die.
I mean,
you know, and we can't judge nobody.
You're right, but we're talking about something that happened
Hundreds of
400 or 500 years ago.
Yeah.
So can't bring her back now.
She might already be back. It might be Jalen.
Might be Jalen. Our ghost is
reincarnated as Jalen. Yeah. Oh shit! It is a ghost.
Did you hear that?
Did it say Baba Booey?
No.
I didn't hear it.
Maybe my ears are ringing or something.
So they killed. They set her on fire publicly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it was like I guess back then they didn't have a lot to, you know, they didn't have baseball, basketball, football, you know, all that you get to see fighting in.
Oh right, yeah, so that was the entertainment.
Entertainment was to watch somebody burn. And, you know,
or hung or something like that.
Men sitting there saying, yeah, and the women saying, oh, gosh, no.
That's not cool. That sucks either way.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah. So, but, the heck was I going to say? I forgot.
I wonder if they burned any lizard people back then.
No, the lizard people were probably the ones doing the burning.
Could have been.
That's where all the royalty comes from, anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know something that I found out, and I think me and you talked about it earlier in the week, is how witches, vampires, and werewolves intertwine.
How do they intertwine?
Well, it was curses from the witches that caused the other two.
Yeah, it did. That's what they said, ain't it?
It was curses of the witches that did it caused the other two, and you know, we're not going to go deep into that because that's a topic of another day. But the three intertwined. They were.
I think
there's a lot
of witch caused the spells to make the werewolves and the vampires happen, right?
Right.
I think that's what I remember.
It was curse on the people, curse on the person.
So anyway, back to what you were saying a minute ago. You said that she was helping these people communicate with the devil.
Yes.
Black mass is what you said.
Black mass.
What the heck would you want to be? What business would you want to communicate with the devil for?
People have communicated with the devil since the beginning of time.
I'm just thinking of like a reason to be doing that.
I mean, right. Eve sat there and had a conversation with him in the garden.
Different stories I've heard about that. Really, I don't know if that's what.
I don't either. I mean, I wasn't there in the beginning, so I can't say.
That's what the Bible says. So we'll have to go with that.
Yeah. But,
so tell me more about her. What happened with her?
Well, I mean, that's the end of it. She was burnt, and you know, she's gone.
Poof, little, just a puff of smoke.
They had a big bonfire.
Well,
yeah,
we're gonna learn about that.
We're gonna learn about bonfires. So they had a big bonfire with her, and they probably used some of the fat that cooked off to, you know, make some French fries.
Was she a fatty?
No,
just normal. Our second lady,
can't. Never mind. Scratch that, David.
What? She's not a
We
lady.
cannot call her a lady. First of all, we're talking about Alice Keitler. Alice Keitler was the first woman to be accused and found guilty of witchcraft in Ireland. She was kind of a strange, odd type woman. She was married 4 times. All probably the original Black Widow, because all 4 husbands died. After the 4th husband died, his children and the children of her previous 3 husbands all got together, and they accused Alice of using witchcraft and potions and poisons to kill their fathers and to manipulate their fathers and control them. So, she would wind up fleeing the country. They say she was never heard of again. After she was accused of all this, she fled execution by fleeing to probably England, and but her servant was taken, and they questioned the servant. The servant finally, after torture and stuff, admitted that they were doing these things, and she was burned at the stake.
Why the hell did they kill her?
Because
Was she a witch too?
she was evidently.
No, they was pissed off because the other one ran and couldn't get her, so they killed her servant.
And the church, the church was the ones doing the trials and the
because the church was the back then. The church was the
authority,
the police, right? The authority.
Yeah,
that was it.
So they were very, very powerful. I mean, but yeah, we got this Alice Keitler, and she lived in Ireland from the 1200s to the 1300s. So that gives you a perspective. She was probably one of the first. And but
she escaped.
Yeah, she escaped. So
she got on her broom. She was like, "I'm out." She just took out.
I have talked to a few witches, and they said the broomstick thing is a myth. They drive Hondas.
Oh,
yeah. So,
that's worse than a broom.
Yeah. and they drive Priuses.
Oh, there you go.
Hondas and Priuses.
I know a witch that I met years and years ago, but she didn't drive the broom. But from what I understand, that the broom is an important thing for them.
Yeah.
As far as sweeping out things in their house, spiritually, things like that.
Well, there's even old.
Good.
Huh?
What?
What? Lizard people? What did you say?
No.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
There's old superstitions that if you get your feet swept with a broom, that means you're getting married or something.
Oh, gosh, dang.
So keep a broom away from your feet.
Yeah, I don't want none on my feet.
So yeah.
So this one was an Irish.
Yeah.
Redheaded, probably. Celtic witch.
Yeah, she was when we said she was persecuted by the church, the church accused her of using witchcraft and sorcery to control Christians. So, I mean, of course they would throw something like that in there.
Yeah, well, that's how they.
But I wouldn't put it past her to make some poisons to poison these men. If this was a movie, and you had on one hand, if it was made by two different, you had your feminists making a movie, and they made a movie of her. The men beat her, and so she poisoned them to kill them.
Yeah.
And of course, if you, on the other hand,
that might have been the case. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Back then, they had the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb was that it was
Especially in
legal
Ireland,
for
that's
you to
where it
beat
came
your
from.
wife as long as
Yeah.
the stick was no bigger than your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there was some
He said maybe it should have been a rule of this wrist.
wrist.
Maybe it should have been a rule of wrist.
Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
So, no, all jokes aside, we saying the little joke and everything. I do not support men that beat on their women. You shouldn't put your hands on a woman. So. The third witch tonight is Isabella Goldie, and Isabella Goldie was she was executed for witchcraft in 1662. What makes her so notable in history was her confession. I mean, she boasted about it. She was like, "Yeah, I'm a witch, and y'all messing with me. I'm going to put all your children will have genital warts or something."
Wow.
Something. I don't know.
So she wasn't playing about it. She was not hiding it. She was just like, "Yep, I'm a witch, and yep, what you gonna do about it?"
Goldie was in the Highlands of Scotland, so she was she had a very, very boisterous type confession where she bragged about what she could possibly do, and
It might have been a scare tactic.
it may have been maybe she had heard about other executions or craziness. Maybe she was just high strung, or maybe she was just had mental issues, and she was out there. So
I don't know. I think that was a dangerous time to be boasting about being a witch if they was burning witches. I mean, that's kind of like the equivalent of people running around here saying, "Hey, I'm a freaking child molester. I'm a child molester." Okay. We got you. Come on over here, buddy.
Okay.
Let me help you out.
I think one of her confessions said that she could shapeshift. That she had the ability to transform into animals and stuff. So that may very well started some of the.
Why didn't she shapeshift into an animal and just run into the forest?
What type of animal could she have shapeshift in when you got 5,000 men standing there accusing you?
Well, why are they accusing her if she's already
an elephant? Let me shapeshift into an elephant.
I mean, what's the point of accusing someone that's already admitted to it?
Yeah.
Did you eat that last bowl of cereal? Yep. Okay, but you ate that last bowl of cereal. I already said, yeah, I did. I mean, you see what I mean? It's kind of like beating a dead horse.
Yeah. Well,
she says I can shift change. I can shift change just into an animal. Why the hell didn't she just do that and scamper off? I mean, she already said she was a witch.
Well, we go into a little bit further. In her confessions,
I don't think
I think she was more crazy. And it may have been a ploy to get the case thrown out or whatever to save her life. But she also said, and she was quoted as saying that she was often visited by the Queen of Fairies.
Hey, that's a real thing over there.
So
no,
she said I am often entertained by the Queen of Fairies in her home under the hills. So you know about the Queen of Fairies?
No, but the Fae.
The Fae?
That's what they call it over there.
Yeah.
In Ireland and Scotland, that's a real thing. If you meet anybody from Ireland and Scotland, ask them about the Fae. They really believe in it. They really think it's a real thing. I don't know if it is or not. I've never seen nothing like that. But I can tell you that they're serious about it.
Yeah.
They really are.
Well, I mean, at the time, some people felt that her confession may have been a ploy to get a more lenient sentence, or she was under some type of psychosis.
She sounds like she's under some psychosis. Sound like some people we got on our team.
We got some people under psychosis on the team.
Might need to be on some kind of psychosis.
Hey, we love all y'all.
He's lying again.
I only love David.
That's our secret.
Yeah. No. I love Joanna.
What's she get mad about that?
Huh?
You joke around about me, she get mad.
No. She don't get mad about that, man. She don't. She get on your ass. Our fourth witch is going to be a very famous and well-known witch, Moldire. If you're unfamiliar with Moldire, Moldire was the basis for the Blair Witch Project.
Ooh.
So
this happened in America.
America.
Yeah. Tennessee, actually. Right? Tennessee.
Maryland.
Maryland?
Was that Logantown? Leonardtown, Maryland. So the story goes, and it's more superstition than it is fact, but it said that she was accused of some witchcraft when some children wound up getting sick, and the superstitious and stuff around that time, and I think it was the late 1600s, that a group of men, she had a big posse to come chase her out of her home, and it was a very, very cold night. I don't know if you've ever been to Maryland during the winter, but I heard that it can get very cold up there in Maryland. Very beautiful country.
Especially for a big posse.
Yeah. And she had a big posse. That chased her out of her home. And she was found a few days later, frozen to a stone.
Who found her?
Well, you know,
small posse.
A small posse. Okay. Small posse, a possum.
Those posses, you never know about these posses.
Maybe it was the crew that went out there filming the Blair Witch. I don't know. Now, speaking of filming, you know, and filming of this movie, do you remember anything about the movie, the Blair Witch?
Yeah, I watched it at the theater.
I did too.
And,
it was pretty cool.
They really did something that was really genius. I thought they had people convinced that it was a real documentary.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
And it sold freaking millions.
Millions. I remember going and seeing the Blair Witch Project. I had a friend that was from Ireland named Marielle White. I believe that was her last name, but she was from Ireland. She was an exchange student over here, and me and her went. And just at the part that something was going on, somebody beat on the door or something at the theater. And dude, awesome. I squealed like a little girl. She laughed, but I mean, you know, she was just a real good friend of mine. She remained a real good friend. I every once in a while have contact with her. So we're talking about, how long has that been? 25, 30 years ago?
Let's ask our ghost.
Where's the ghost?
He left. He left again.
All right, so let's see.
Oh well, we'll get him next time.
We're gonna look it up real quick, like for you. It was in 1999.
Oh, okay.
1999. How many years ago has that been?
24 almost.
23, 24 years. So, but we went and watched it, and dude, I was afraid to walk out in the woods after that. I was like,
I kind of did the same thing. After that, I was like seeing little sticks, and like I would look at the sticks, and I'd be like, "That's cool. If I cut it here and there, it'd be creepy."
And you know, around here you had some smart behinds that would make the little grapevines, and they would make the little X thing type things that was hanging in, and you'd go walking into the woods and see something like that. No, I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
There'll be a posse after me.
No, I ain't messing with it. Did you see it? Because everybody died.
Yeah, and there was like something. What was it like when they went to the basement at the end of the movie? And it was like a person. Or
yeah, he was over in the. He was that was one of the guys.
It was one of the guys that went missing. And
yeah,
he was just kind of like, did he come at her? Or?
I don't remember. I remember the part where he was over in the corner, but
I remember that girl being in that tent with snot coming out of her nose, crying. Remember that? I'm gonna have to watch that movie now.
Yeah, that'd be a fun movie to watch. The rumors and the lore around it is that because they chased her out of her home and she froze to death, that her evil spirit roams the woods and creates chaos and sometimes harms people that go up into those woods. So very, very fun movie to watch. I mean, I wonder now that we know that it was all BS. That it was just a good promotion.
Oh, the movie, yes,
yeah,
yes.
That
it was a good.
They did it right. They did it right. So
if I was to put out a movie like that was low budget and stuff like that, and I wanted it to be a big, I mean, you would have to play it off as it's an actual documentary, and these people actually went missing. That was genius the way they produced that.
I agree.
So have you ever dated a witch?
I was married to one.
Oh, there you go.
No, I wasn't married to her.
Okay, you just thought you was. She had you under that spell. You didn't know what you was.
I wasn't married to her. I just created that offspring with her.
The ghost?
Yeah, the ghost.
How do you create a ghost?
Hey, you know what? He might not even be mine. We're not going into that story.
But you are Casper.
I am Casper. I'm Casper Hunter. Casper Hunter. So
I've dated one before. I'll tell you a story real fast about that. She was over here in Waynesville, dude. Waynesville, Brantley County witch.
The Brantley County witch.
I should have known better then. I'm just joking. But no, it was. I thought she was kind of kidding around and joking around about it, being a witch. And I went over to her house. And everything looks normal in a normal house. And she says, I said, so you're a witch? She said, yeah, I really am. And I'm like, well, you got a book of spells or something like that? I said, you got one of them big iron tub things? I didn't know what the heck it was called then.
Cauldron?
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, come here. So she takes me back to a spare bedroom in her house. The whole bedroom is set up to do witchcraft. There's a giant, not a giant, it's a table. But there was a freaking cauldron on the table that big. What'd she
have, a hot plate under it?
I don't know.
I
don't know. That's a good question. I didn't look that long.
Double, tools in trouble.
But she had, stuff on the wall to make spells with him. She had a big old spell book. That thing was that big and that thick. She was serious. She said she used to go to the river down there and do something. Do some kind of something. She called something like calling the circle or something with a circle.
I went down in the river to pray.
That ain't what she went down.
Studying about those good old ways and okay. All right. So I guess what we need to do is take a little short break, and then we'll come back and finish up with the Salem trials and talk about some, the very well-known Salem trials and answer some questions about some of the myths surrounding the trials. So,
all right, we'll be back in just a minute. Enjoy our sponsors.
She is like a cat in the dark, and then she is the darkness. She was alive like a fine skylark, and when the sky is starless. All your life you've never seen a woman taken by the wind. Would you stay if she promised you heaven? Will you ever win? Will you ever
next topic being the Salem witch trials and stuff. I think that's basically what happened, was that in the 1692, 1693 is when the Salem witch trials took place. There was rumors, there was gossip going around because maybe this person knew how to take herbs and mix them and treat your ailments. But ultimately, I think some children wound up getting sick. And when they got sick, the townspeople had an outcry, and they wound up accusing like 210 people of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. Well, they were accused of doing the devil's magic. The devil's magic. One of the witches that was actually tried and found guilty, or let me correct that, rumored to be a witch, is actually in my bloodline. Was kin to me. She was married to the Martin, and we have Juanita Cox on the phone with us, and she's going to tell a little bit about the story about the Martin woman that was executed.
Hello, Juanita. How are you?
I'm fine. I'd like to tell the story about Susanna North. She was born in England, and at a young adult age, she came into the United States, into the colonies, and she met George Martin, who was a blacksmith, and his wife had passed away, and they met and married and had a family of their own. They had 7 children, and she practiced the old-time way of using herbs, nuts, and God-given plants to create portions and medicine for her family's use and friends. She had done it from a very young age, but when the 2 girls was taken sick, and they pointed the finger of blame at some of the townswomen. There was over 200 that was accused and arrested. 20 of those were executed. And Suzanne North Martin was one of the ones that was executed.
Okay, and how was she executed?
She was hung.
Okay.
None of the witches in Salem was burned
The
at the stake.
The accused witches. The accused witches.
Yeah, accused.
Yeah. So.
Later on, the townspeople found out what had made the children sick, and they realized that they had been wrong in their actions towards these people. They give their families compensation for what had happened.
What type of compensation could you get on a human life?
Yeah, there is none.
I mean, all the money in the world.
All they did was to release the guilt that they felt.
Yeah. So that's and that happened in the on July 19th, 1692.
That's correct.
Got tongue-tied and eye-tied.
Which Suzanne, all through her trial, she proclaimed her innocence. But she was found guilty, and she was sentenced to be taken to Gallows Hill, and along with 4 other women.
Sarah Good,
And they were
Elizabeth Howe, Rebecca Nurse, and Sarah Wilds. Now, I wonder if there's double kin there, because on Dad's side of the family
Was Wilds.
was the Wilds. So
I could not find any. In fact, I really did not push trying to find any information on them.
So basically, there's a moral to this story, moral to the entire Massachusetts Salem witch trials, and that is, be careful when you make false claims and point the finger, because it could have dire circumstances on someone's life.
And it can actually come back on you.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a witch and somebody accused me and they took, I would make sure I'd throw a curse. All your children and your children's gonna wind up having genital warts or something.
Well, that for over
there you go, to get
200 years, the actions in Massachusetts has been kind of a thorn in their side.
Yeah.
For they knew that we had done wrong.
Well, I think a bunch of people actually thought that, the way it seems like it's taught in school is that they actually rounded up these people for practicing witchcraft. And here, you have a herpetologist who is making medicines to help you, and you basically cut off the hand to spite your face, cut your nose off to spite your face. You got a person that has knowledge of God-given plants to help cure you. And I'm gonna say, back when I got sick with the poison that everybody was referring to as coronavirus, that if it hadn't have been for Joanna and Mom, telling me to use these herbal remedies instead of all this crap the doctor was wanting, I probably wouldn't be here. Joanna, she got with her mother, and they talked about old recipes and stuff to help loosen the stuff in my chest and to help me breathe better and to give me some energy and stuff. And I took it and I boiled it and I steeped it and drank it. It was nasty as crap, but I mean, to me, that was one of the things that helped me pull through. So.
And the cough syrup. Don't forget the cough syrup.
We made homemade cough syrup. Yes.
Y'all witches.
Well, we might be. I mean, Mom
Well,
was
one of my granddaughters, when she was in the third grade, she went to school and told her teacher that her grandma was a witch and could cast spells on people.
Yeah, you probably can. She's gonna kick my butt, ain't she?
Yeah. She's gonna get
All right, so you've got to have some medical procedures tomorrow. We're not going to keep you any longer on the phone. I'm just want to let you know that David said that he's going to be praying for you. I'm going to pray for you, Mom. Love you. Good night.
Love y'all. And thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
So there you go.
It seems like, we covered what? 2 or 3 real witches,
mm-hmm.
And then we had to try to clear the air about the Massachusetts Salem witch deal.
Yeah. Hysteria is a crazy thing, man. You sit there.
Mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. and well, let's just talk about that for a second. There's situations in this world where a person could be innocent of things, and he's accused. And by the time it hits Facebook, he's guilty. They take the word of these media outlets.
That's how it is anywhere with any crime these days. I mean, if you don't believe me, go get arrested for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be guilty of it. It used to be you was innocent until proven guilty.
Until proven guilty.
That's what they say, but the fact of it is that you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it should be that justice is blind, because that's the reason you have the scales and the sword and the woman with the blindfold.
But that's not true, is it?
But it's not true.
Well, you can take the same crime.
And it's never been true, evidently, in the case of these women that were executed just for having knowledge of how to treat people. I mean, they were accused of something, whether they were or not. Was it worth? I mean, was it really?
That's why we have separation of state and church,
mm-hmm.
and our state and religion. It was state and church, but that's the reason why, because the church was an authority force. When there was no government, there was no police, there was no nothing like this. The church ruled over all of the citizens, and that's what you have. You have follow this specific guidelines,
or you die.
Or we're going to murder you brutally.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you take the Crusades. We're getting off topic, I know that, but it's proving a point still. You take the Crusaders.
Yeah.
Right? The Crusaders, to be honest, what the Crusaders was men that was in debt to the church. Which, when we say the church, we're referring to the authority.
Because of taxes.
Right. They was in debt, so they would join the Crusaders, which would then go out and conquer. People would kill innocent women and children, and then just because of their, well, you finna go into the Knights Templar, right? Talking about the execution. No, I'm not gonna go that far with it. But do you know what the church did next? Yeah, that's what they did, though. You're right.
Yeah, they accused them of heretics.
Right, but what I was just gonna say about it was they do. You know, the church says, "Hey, go out and conquer these lands, kill these people."
Now, I want to clear the air first and foremost. We are not talking about Christianity. We are talking about the church. So, for the ones out there, that's
what is that?
Thumping. You know, everything that somebody else is doing, you know, even though the Bible speaks against you doing that, they're very judgmental. Right. I wanted to point out that we're not talking about Christianity. We're talking about the church and the power that the church had.
May still have in other countries.
So,
it was a really big difference of what they used to be and what they are now, though.
Yeah.
As far as authority goes. But yeah, they said go out and conquer these lands and do all this for the church, for us. And then they said, hey, now we're going to go kill them. Mm-hmm. And they went out and killed the Crusaders. That was working for them.
Mm-hmm.
That happened.
Yep.
That is history, buddy.
That is in history. So, well, I think we've near about covered what we was going to talk about tonight in the matter of the witches, the few witches that we talked about in the Salem trials. We have a few announcements. I want to give a shout out to Wolf Wireless. The gentleman up there that owns Wolf Wireless has been very good to me. You can almost say that he sponsored a bunch of stuff with us. So I want to give a shout out to Wolf Wireless in Waycross. When you have wireless needs, you can run up there and see them at Wolf Wireless. Tremble Rot, the Haunted House, and John McDermott and his crew, they've worked hard this year. This will be the final weekend, Friday and Saturday night. Tremble Rot's final final nights, right? I mean, we got a calendar. This is the calendar right here, and they will be doing their final shows of the year. It's been a very exciting Halloween season. This is not our final podcast of the season. We have a special Halloween edition that we will do, and we're going to be talking about serial killers that have inspired horror movies.
True stories.
True
that have
stories.
inspired
And
horror movie
I'm
characters.
going to tell you, once you go down that rabbit hole, it starts burrowing out. I mean, you look at some, you know the rumors and everything about, oh, this movie was based on this and this and this, and then when you go to reading it, it says no, it was actually based on this, this, and this, and then you're like, well, I've got to bring up this part, but I've also got to tell the truth. So
we're going to.
We will be working on casting call for the past 6 productions casting call for the movie, The Okefenokee Werewolf. So if you think that you're a local talent and think that you have what it takes to act in a real movie, we're going to give you the opportunity. Come audition for us, and let's get this movie put together and see what it's about.
Where are we at in the stages of it?
The script has been written. It's got to be
finished?
Yeah, it's got to be proofread and then put together. So what we will do is we will have lines from the movie, from the actual thing, and then as we audition, they will have their lines there that they can audition and act it out.
Sounds good.
Yeah, hoping that this is going to be a pretty awesome little indie show, and that's reaching back to Wolf Wireless. He kind of made some of this possible.
What's his name?
I don't even know his name. I just go in there and talk to him all the time. He's a pretty cool guy. He's the owner. He's owned it for quite some time. Want to give a shout out to Laser Action Warfare of Blackshear, Georgia. If you have birthday parties or group events, they are mobile. They will be at Midway Church tonight. Well, by the time you see this, it's already over tonight. So they were at Midway Church tonight, and not church. Midway School. They were at Midway School today from 5 to 8, and if you missed out, you can call them up at 912-850-8849 or look them up on Facebook. They have a website. You can Google it, Laser Action Warfare. But they are mobile. They can come to you, or you can go out there and have a good time. Anybody we missing out tonight?
We want to give a little shout out to some new guys we've recently been in contact with.
We got new guys?
Well, we have been in contact with some investigation team out of Savannah, Paranormal Society.
Savannah Paranormal Society, or the Paranormal Society of Savannah.
Wow. Paranormal Society.
Hey guys.
Of Savannah.
I seen where you had mentioned that you had talked to them. They gave us a shout out on Facebook, and I'm excited about.
I think we should go to see their haunted house before it closes if we have time. Hopefully we'll have time.
Okay. Well,
I heard they had a pretty good one over there. It's been keeping them busy, they said.
So it's in Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because there's a Midway. There's a Midway haunted house, I believe, and then there's the Jessup haunted house, Midway haunted house, and Savannah
We'll
haunted house.
check.
We'll have to find. Well, guys, hit us up and let us know that address, and we will try to make it over there this weekend. And speaking of haunted houses, you got Trimble Rot,
which we're going to be at.
Our
this
sponsor,
weekend.
Trimble Rot, and
we're going to be there this weekend. If this is their last weekend operation, we're going to be there probably Saturday.
And then Obadiah's Okefenokee Haunted Trail. They this is their first year. They did a real good job. I think they will get a lot more proactive with this thing and create a better haunted trail as the years come if they keep doing it. I mean, I was blown away for it being their first year. You got E.L. Craven and Blackshear. Y'all can go check them out. You got Screams over in Nahunta.
You better go check them all out.
Because this is last weekend. I don't. Mama's something. Is that still going on? Mama's.
I'm not familiar with
It's
that.
over in Blackshear. I was meaning to go.
I haven't been able to get over there either.
Now, as far as price, that's probably going to be the cheapest price to take kids to. If you got a bunch of kids, like some of y'all have 16. Wait, that was back in the day. 16 kids.
Yeah, that was the witches.
That was the witches.
Black Widows.
Wait a second. My grandmother had 16 children. Or was it 13?
Well, you just said you was related to a witch a second ago, too. So, I mean, what are we talking about? Talking about the same person?
No. She was very. I mean, if there was an angel or a saint that walked the earth, people said that it was my grandmother. If you are interested in being part of the Paranormal Plus investigation team, reach out and let us know, and that way we can set up a interview. All right, David.
All right.
So, but that's not your name. What was your name?
William Shackelford.
Yeah. He identified as William Shackelford. But you ain't said nothing about the lizard people tonight.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We want to bid you a good night. Happy Halloween. October the 31st. Special edition of Paranormal Plus Podcast. Our Halloween show. You do not want to miss this show. Monday at 8 p.m. Be there. Be square, brother.
All right. See you all later.
Good night.